Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe. If you dare. Other things he'd gotten for drugs: guns, stereo, phones, and my favorite, a car. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. Drug dealers of Reddit, what is the strangest thing you have been offered in compensation for drugs? Number 1. Ex-user of opiates here. My dealer would only give me the drugs if I gave him my blades and allowed him to check me for any cuts. I was in a seriously dark time and he helped me in a lot of ways. Eventually, once I started to get better, he refused to sell me any drugs and also made it clear to his friend dealers that I was blacklisted. One of the reasons I turned my life around. Number 2. A cat for 3 Xanax bars. The cat was covered in fleas and super young. I took the deal because I felt bad for the cat, and I wouldn't trade this cat for $1 million. We have had 4 amazing years together. He has pulled babies for me, he acts like a dog, sleeps on his back, and follows me around the house. Best deal ever, I love my kitty. Number 3. Commenter. Former dealer/cook. Did time, straighten up now. You get offered all kinds of things: sexual favors, stolen goods, whatever they scavenged. Someone once tried to make a purchase from me by offering a wadded up ball of copper wire the size of a beach ball. Looked like some big tangled bird's nest of various gauges of stripped wiring, heavy as F. I turned it down. One that made me do a double take was 2 of those 1-gallon Ziploc bags of nickels. I told them to go find a Coinstar and get back to me. You see tons of stolen phones and tablets and laptops, but if you're smart you don't touch anything that can be tracked through GPS or other location services. Yeah, there's ways around those things, but why bother? One dude tried to trade me 2 dead possums and a fishing pole for a sack. That was an interesting encounter. Person B. I once overheard someone on a street corner offer a guy a bandana and half a pack of cigarettes and 2 rigs for a bag of crystal. When he got turned down, the guy muttered something like F, now I'm gonna have to find an old lady and snatch her purse. Yikes dude. Number 4. Some dude offered to steal his uncle's entire Star Wars collection. I've seen the collection he was talking about. I'm assuming it was over 50 grand in collectibles. I wanted it bad. Thought about it for a few days. But bro code, nerd respect, and staying humble made me reject his offer. I couldn't even imagine losing something like that. Number 5. Had a guy who would pay me in turtles. Like those miniature red slider turtles you get at fairs and carnivals. The first time I was cool with it, he knew I loved reptiles and I had wanted a new pet ever since my bearded dragon died, RIP Shlomo. Anyway, this guy would sometimes pay me actual money, but every once in a while he would claim he really needed a dime or something small but didn't have the money, so he would opt to pay me in turtles. Now, by all means, I love animals, but I'm running a business here. I can't feed myself with turtles, they're too small to eat even if I wanted to. But strange enough, I accepted the payments. 3 months later and this guy is buying in bulk, which is great for me because less weight on me equals more money. But this effing guy was matching what he was buying in turtle weight. After the first couple times I kinda got scared because I thought, where the F is this man getting these turtles? Mind you, I'm from the Northeast. We aren't really known for our reptile population. So here I am accepting turtles over fist, trying to save each of these turtles because I suspect that this guy is somehow acquiring these animals through illegal methods. Long story short, the guy gets arrested on exotic animal charges and does 10 to 25 years in state maximum. I thought I was the criminal, but this effing dude is the kingpin of reptiles. Unbelievable. The turtles, live in my basement. I actually can't count, but I estimate there to be at least over 350 of them. I have 4 large terrariums for them to frolic. I've named the alphas and the matriarchs. Going to wait a while and see if they can get started on their own civilization. Number 6. I dealt small amounts of various drugs in addition to tending bar while in college. One of the Mexican kitchen guys wanted a bunch of ecstasy, used $350, and I obtained it for him. When it came time to pay up, he said he only had $100 but he'd get the rest to me in a week or so. I was having a Super Bowl party that I had invited everyone to, and a few days later he asked if he could work off the balance by catering the event. I agreed and assumed he would flake, but homeboy showed up 30 minutes early with some of the most fire Tex-Mex food imaginable. Trays on trays of anything you could think of. It was unreal, and probably cost him more than he owed me. It was a big reason we served Tex-Mex at my wedding, because I knew a guy who could throw down. His catering company did a great job that day, but he did an even better job as one of my groomsmen. Number 7. I used to sell weed in high school. Nothing major. I had about 12 clients, but the money was good enough that I never had to buy my own stuff, so it worked out. One day I came home from my comprehensive exams in sociology. It was the only time I had never known if I had passed or failed a test. I was stressed to say the least. So I twisted up a joint. And boom, munchies hit like crazy. Like I need food. Knock at my door. Some chemical engineering guy brought me a effing vat of chili. Like it was at least 10 gallons of chili. All he wanted was an eighth, which was $35. I gave him that, and the chili was so good I tracked him down and gave him another. Number 8. Commenter. Someone else's stolen Christmas presents. We made him put them back. Then we gave him some stuff. Not much, just what we thought would get him through the night. We didn't deal with him after that. Person B. Dude, that post makes me feel so gracious of your actions. When I was a kid, my uncle stole all my Christmas presents because he had a really bad crack addiction. My dad went the day of and gathered them all back, basically double paying for them from the dude so I could have them again. It was the year the Xbox came out, and it was going to be a big surprise for me. I wish that dealer would have had the same morals as you. Number 9. Commenter. Not a drug dealer, but I helped my weed guy graduate by doing his online English homework in exchange for weed. I was broke, and it was easy work, so I had no problem doing it lol. Person B. Same. I've done 2 papers for dealers during exam season. One never paid me and is a piece of shit, and I mostly did it because I knew not handing in this paper would get him expelled, and I felt sorry for him. The other one paid me 4 grams of great hash for a few hours work. He was not the sharpest spoon in the drawer, so the assignment was pretty easy to do. Person C. My senior year I gave a buddy's girlfriend like an eighth of weed to do my online math classes. Graduated because of her. Number 10. When my friends and I went to pick up $10 worth of weed, we were broke high schoolers. We got 2 Little Caesars pizzas before we went to our dealer. We ate about half the pizza waiting for our dealer to come out, and when he did, he jumped into the back seat where the pizza was. He saw the pizza and got super excited and said, "Y'all got pizza?" With his eyes wide on the box. My friend told him, "Yeah, we'll give you the rest for $20 worth of weed." He said yes and gave us the weed and took the pizza. So we got $10 worth of extra weed for $3 worth of pizza. Number 11. Commenter. I at one point during my time working with the state was informed that a client had offered her children to her cocaine dealer in exchange for more cocaine. Her cocaine dealer was aware she was seeing us for treatment, and proceeded to call us and report the situation. The children were removed from her care. Person B. A woman in my area is on trial right now for pimping out her elementary-aged kids for meth. Apparently she had been doing it for years. Good on your guy for calling it in, but disgusting to think of how many men would have taken her up on the deal. Number 12. Commenter. A dealer a ways back who dealt almost primarily to college students, mainly just weed, but Adderall and similar fell into the mix because, college students. Before he handed off any drugs, he made them share their current grades. If they didn't have at least a D in everything, he wouldn't sell, unless there was a valid explanation, a student with an F because they missed the first pop quiz, but had straight A's for the other assignments and could prove it with the grade breakdown. I later learned he was getting EMT trained so his contacts could call in him in an emergency to be the sober one to help out in an attempt to keep a bad reaction or bad trip from going super south. And he would routinely guide and assist his clients into rehab for harder drugs like meth or cocaine. Dude was a pillar of hope, he had my respect. Last I heard, he'd moved on to bigger and brighter, and more legal things. Person B. I was once at a party in NYC and someone ordered coke. A dealer and his heat showed up. The dealer asked everyone who was doing coke to come into the bathroom. Apparently he then gave them a brief educational lecture on the risks of cocaine use, asked them each to initial a form indicating they understood the risks, took the money and left the coke. I was impressed. Number 13. Not the dealer, but I have a pretty ideal, symbiotic arrangement for my drugs. Buddy likes to garden, eat fish, and drink beer. I like to brew beer, catch fish, and smoke bud. Rigged up a little shed with ventilation that directs CO2 from fermentation into his greenhouse. Spent grain from the brews and waste from the fish is used for compost. No money changes hands, rewards reaped by all. Number 14. Not a drug dealer, but I once found a bag of weed in the high school parking lot and some kid I was with said, "I'll give you my Xbox 360 with the games for that." Yeah dude, sure, I was going to throw it away anyways. And that's how I got my first gaming console. If I remember correctly, I got home at like 11 p.m. and I walked into my house with it, and my dad was awake, so he asked where I got it. And I told him that I found a bag of weed at the basketball game, and that this kid said he'd give me his Xbox and games for it. My dad said something like, "So you traded free weed for a Xbox?" Number 15. In college I had a buddy whose house we would always hang out at. He sold all sorts of stuff. The best offer he ever got was from this 50-year-old lifelong junkie woman. She was a landscaper in her better days, and once she ran out of money she started offering my friend plants. He rolled with it, and a few months later he had a beautiful garden in his backyard. She even dug a pond and made a koi pond. Pretty good deal for both parties involved. And a win for us friends too, because we got to chill and smoke in an awesome backyard. Number 16. Commenter. I traded a PB&J for pot once. My dealer was hungry and I had a packed lunch. Person B. It's sorta like I was a few months older than my weed dealer, and when I turned 21, I started just trading beer for weed, because my dealer still couldn't buy beer for a few months. It was a super symbiotic relationship. Person C. I used to work with 3 different dealers. It was awesome. Anytime they didn't want to do something, they'd give weed for it and I'd do it. My favorite was when I was given a dime for just doing a load of laundry. I'm fine with that. I miss that job. Person D. Lol. My old dealer used to trade literally anything for drugs. Went over there one time and he told me he'd just traded some beans for a magic bullet, and was mad excited to use it. Copped and got a smoothie. Other things he'd gotten for drugs: guns, stereo, phones, and my favorite, a effing car. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.